Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mariana and I'm happy to welcome you into my next decade, into my first decade of spring, first decade of March. And I must tell you, I'm quite excited about this decade. Why is that? Since there is a kit in front of you, you may be wondering whether I've got some new acquisitions. Well, no, not at the moment. No, I haven't got anything new. I hadn't added anything new to my collection, but as I told you in one of my previous videos, I wanted to start something. And spring is, I don't know, spring is calling for new starts. I know you may say that absolutely crazy, because just a month ago I had my month of starts. I had my January marathon of starts. There's nothing I can do about it. Honestly, I've been thinking about this kit for quite a while. And then I saw another lady on the YouTube who was she was progressing it, but in my case, my kit is from Czarівна Мить or from Magic Moment. It's a Ukrainian brand. It is called Morning Freshness. And I've been thinking about it. I wanted to start it, and I still do, but there is one thing that's stopping me from starting it. I don't know if there's hold up, yes, there is the size of it. It's 42 by almost 68 centimeters on 13 count ADA. So as you can imagine, it is quite a large kit. It is something, I mean, it is exactly 91,000 stitches. I have looked into the design. I know that it is simple. It doesn't have many blends. It has counted back stitch, and it has, like, just look at these curtains or at the table. It's all done in like massive patches, I would say. So it is easy to stitch, even when you look into the irises themselves. They are not that complicated. Yet I've been thinking, and then I thought, no, I'm not gonna start anything. I'm just rather postpone this project until I finish something. I don't want to start this one mainly because I have two huge projects in my whips right now, which I want to progress like majorly. This year it's the Ambilight from Dome. I think someone corrected me and told me the correct name for this kit. And there's also Medina Wood Grapes, which is like over 60% through. So I have two giants in my collection at the moment, and I think it would be wrong to add this one to my current processes. I mean, even when I started, considering the size of this pattern, what if I'm going to be able to make like one petal, two petals if I start from the center, because I can always start from the bottom right corner, because it is counted, I mean, it is a full coverage project, so I just can find the middle and move all the way back here, and it's gonna be absolutely boring for you to watch the progress on this kit, because this small corner, just the sandy colors and a bit of green. So now I think this one is going to remain in my collection for a little longer. I don't know if I make enough finishes in the upcoming month. Maybe by the end of May, I will start it. If it still is on my mind, I think I'm gonna start it. All prejudice aside. Also, I'm pretty sure it is in Italy in the window, but for me it is a mixture of Venice and Florence. So it kind of makes sense to start it here since I live in Italy now. But it wasn't the main reason why I wanted to start it. The main reason are the flowers, irises. I love irises because where I grew up, they were the main sign of spring. I grew up in Ukraine, and like every flower bed in our village has had a mixture of these irises, of different kinds of irises. My grandma had them. And then when I got older, my parents-in-law have this house outside the city, and my mother-in-law, she has a huge flower bed of irises. They were like of any color possible, starting with purples, whites, blues, and like dusty pinks. Unfortunately, I don't know, I've never thought about taking a picture of those irises because I never thought that there's gonna be a day that I'm not gonna be able to enjoy their bloom by myself. I mean, all the sadness aside, we're setting this morning freshness aside too. So does this mean that I'm not gonna be starting anything? Well, the story is quite long. When I figured that the iris, the morning freshness kit is a bit too large to start at the moment, I thought that I would love to start some lilacs, because once again, that's another flower bush or tree altogether that grows in Ukraine, and also it grew in every backyard. And we do have, like, I mean, this preview is from J Sunday. It is a printed kit, but the original one is supposed to look like this. Surely the screen never tells the correct colors or something. So and I had quite a history with this kit because I had to order it 2 times from AliExpress, because the first time I ordered it, they sent me a completely different pattern, and I was so frustrated. I thought that I would never get it, and then I thought that I probably should buy an original kit, but then the only place I could have ordered it from was in Ukraine, and then I would have to wait. And you know this feeling when you don't want to wait because you just want this pattern, this kit, to have it right here, right now, and not wait for a couple of months. And the seller who sent me the wrong kit agreed to refund me, and then they said that they have the original kit in available. So I ordered it the second time, and it came, and mind you, it came last spring. I was absolutely thrilled to have it, still am. And I luckily, not luckily, I put it in my stash, with like a peacefully put it in my stash, and that's where it remains. So I thought maybe, just maybe, instead of irises, I'm going to start lilacs. And for quite a while, I was sure that it's going to be my next start until today. Because today I was doing some chores, and I like to listen to something, to watch something. Actually, I was doing my nails, so I was watching a YouTube video of a lady. Her name is Martha. Flosstube, but it doesn't make much of a difference to me because I can speak both Ukrainian and Russian quite well. So, and then Martha showed this pattern. I mean, she didn't just show it. I mean, by the way, the channel is named Stitching or Cross Stitching with Martha. She started this kit. It is an original Riolis kit. It is called, hold up, I've been looking for the translation and I forgot it again. Is it Flaminern? Flemic? Hold up. I have to Google it because Flemish, yes, I didn't have to Google it, I remember. It's called Flemish Summer. This is what I've got. Forgive me this crinkled, unappealing, sort of a preview and part of a pattern. I do like the pattern, the Flemish Summer. So back in the day when I was just beginning my, I'm gonna take away this preview because it kind of sucks. I ordered this kit because I do like the original pattern. I didn't have access. I still don't. I think it is discontinued, the original pattern from Riolis. So I ordered this replica from Joy Sunday. And it's been in my collection of kits for, I don't know, maybe it is even 4 or 5 years, that's for sure. And I always looked at that preview and it kind of pushed me away because it doesn't actually look like the original kit. It is a lot more yellowish, and I thought that it might not turn out the way it is supposed. And like last year, my parents-in-law, they are bringing my collection of, they are bringing my cross stitch kits, like by a few at the time. So they brought this pattern, and I kind of neglected it because I have already put a label of a donor on this kit. I thought that I'm not gonna ever stitch this pattern because I think it's not gonna turn out the way it is supposed to. So I'm just gonna use the floss for my other purposes. And then when I saw Martha showing her Flemish Summer today, it absolutely clicked. I was like, wait up, I have this. I mean, it's not an original, it is a replica, but I have this in my stash. I also have a digital pattern, so I can actually check if the colors coincide. Although my digital pattern is in DMC floss, this one is in a CXC floss, which is a close equivalent. Also, if anything, I have 2 complete palettes of DMC like replicas, so why not start it? And the final puzzle, the final piece of the puzzle was the iris. I don't know what, I've been obsessed with irises. Actually, when we moved here into this it's a house, we saw a few iris bushes in the bushes because we live in a mountainous area and it is like surrounded by all sorts of wilderness, and there were like those abandoned iris bushes, and my husband dug them out and we brought them home and we planted them under our terrace, and they bloom. That's the second spring they bloom. They already bloom. It's just the beginning of March and they bloom. I mean, they aren't fully in bloom at the moment. They are just like budded. And if I don't forget, I'll try to take pictures and insert them somewhere in the video for you to see. And I was like, this is it. I want to start this kit right here, right now. All the colors, according to my digital pattern and to this, I mean, not all, most of the colors. I mean, maybe there are like 35 colors, and maybe five, 6 colors are like either missing or like added extra. So I think I'm still gonna be sticking to the digital pattern, and if there's a color missing from this palette, I'm going to like look for it in my floss bank, and I'm going to substitute and progress this kit. So when I finalized my thought on my first spring start, then the question of canvas rose, because most of the Joy Sunday kits, they come with white canvas. They are either white or printed, so there's not much of a choice. And I started looking for something, because the original kit is on a like sandy beige canvas or something. I don't have that. I don't have an even wheel in a necessary color. I don't have I don't have Ada in that color. So I was like, oh, well, yeah, this is it. The start's not gonna happen. But then I found this like flax colored, raw flax colored even weave in my stash. I think it is probably Ukrainian even weave. I don't know if it has a separate name, if it doesn't. But I can surely tell. I don't know if you can tell. Hold up, I shook you on the video. But I think it is count 32. And it's not like I don't like count 32 of even weave or something. I just have the experience of using CXC floss on 32nd Murana, and it wasn't the best of experiences. It wasn't a pleasant experience. These floss, these strands, they are a bit too thick for that kind of even weave. So then I thought maybe I should look for like beige colored Ada in my stash, and of course I haven't found it, and I was bummed. So I thought, no, I mean, it's like the universe is telling me that I have enough of ongoing projects as it is, so I don't need a new start. But then it occurred to me that I can use the original canvas from the kit, and I can dye it with tea and coffee so that it becomes the required beige colored. Bam! So I just rushed to the kitchen, I brewed some tea, and I put the canvas into it, and then I thought the color isn't as beige as I wanted, so I add some coffee to it, and then I'll let it sit for a few moments. It's still drying out, so I have nothing to show you at the moment, but I promise you that I did it, and in my next episode, in my next part of the video, I'm going to show you how it turned out and the progress I make. I have already made up my mind. I'm going to start from the middle. I don't have the pattern on my tablet yet, so I cannot show you where. Oh, hold up, maybe I have it here. Just a sec. Oh, yeah. So this is how the pattern looks in the program, by the way. So this is the original canvas color it's supposed to. I hope that my canvas will turn out this color. So yeah, I'm going to start from the middle, but I'm not gonna be working on those tiny flowers. I will count all the way up to the iris, and I want to concentrate my effort on the iris. This is the first time I'm going to be doing something like that, because usually it's either or. I start from the bottom right or from the middle and then go somewhere, but this time I truly want to have some irises in my collection. And then I hope I'm going to fulfill my goals. I don't know, I'm so excited. It hasn't happened to me for quite a while, because on my January starts, I had them pre-planned, so I knew what I'm going to start and kind of which rotation and blah blah blah. And here it is a spontaneous start, and I love those starts the most. I hope you will like it too. So in a few seconds you will see how my big idea on the spot idea turns out, and how it comes to life, if it does. Hopefully it does. Flemish Summer by Riolis. In my case, it is a replica from Joy Sunday. My most recent start. What can I say? I am completely and utterly satisfied and happy that I actually decided, out of nowhere, I decided to start this project. As I said, I was going to. This is the middle of the pattern, and I started from the middle, and I was moving up until I reached the iris flower. Honestly, I thought that the iris flower was going to be a little bit more violet, but it is all in blue hues. And by the way, there are many blends. I think you can see at least 2 of them vividly, but there are more. I don't quite remember how many more are there, but I think that even this replica design, stitched according to the original pattern, looks quite, I would say, quite decent, and I think it looks much more better than on the digital pattern. I haven't added any lines of backstitch, although I could have if I tried, but then I didn't have enough time to fill in all the blanks to continue with the backstitch, but it doesn't bother me much. As you can see, I even started moving to the side because there is some, I don't know, maybe these are, I don't know what type of flowers are these, because I know these are like peonies, poppies, lilies, I don't know, this bells, it's like this pea and cornflower. I mean, there's such a versatility of flowers. There's such a full design. I don't know how and why I thought that I could just dismantle it completely and just use it for the floss in my floss bank. By the way, as you can see, this is how my toned by tea and coffee canvas turned out to be. I think it is close enough to the original. Even if it isn't, I don't care, because I love how my stitches and how the colors look on this canvas. On this Ada color, besides, I like that it is a bit, it is much softer than the original white canvas was, because it was soaked in like boiling water for a while. So yeah. Also, what else can I say about this design? One of the reasons why it looks so multi-dimensional and so like realistic is because of half stitch, definitely. But then there is also a combination of full stitch in one strand, full stitch in two strands, and full stitch in 3 strands. I think that I don't remember correctly, but I'm pretty sure that the darkest colors are stitched in 3 strands. And this, this rotation between different stitches, between different strand counts, they give you like this thrill or excitement to continue, and they make the project interesting. And this is I would actually say that this is the magic, the beauty of old Riolis kits, because I mean I haven't acquired any of the most recent ones. I haven't got anything new, fortunately or not, so I can only say that from my previous and current experience. I haven't tried their most recent updates. Maybe one day, maybe not. Honestly, I haven't tried them, not because, primarily because their newer designs do not hit the spot, if you know what I mean. It's like with most of the older designs, it's like any picture you look at on the website or on their page, it's like it makes you crave to have it in your collection. That's why I have quite an extensive collection of Riolis kits. And most recent patterned kits, they are nice, they are lovely, but it's like it doesn't make my hands itch to put them into my online cart and buy them. Well, anyway, also I think I'm gonna attach somewhere here the picture of the bouquet that I've got from my loved ones for the 8th of March. Happy belated International Women's Day to all of you who celebrate. I don't know how it turned out, but maybe I've been talking about irises for way too much recently, so many of my friends and family, they brought me irises as a gift bouquet for the 8th of March. So yeah, I think I'll attach that picture somewhere here so that you can see what I'm talking about. Well, all in all, this project is only 3% through, but I'm absolutely happy that I started it. And honestly, if I could, I would probably sit and stitch like a full week straight, or maybe even more, just this pattern, because it has anything you need, the combination of techniques and colors and progress and interest. I mean, it has everything, but I know that it would be boring for you to observe just like one process for the rest of for the next decade. So I'm gonna be setting it aside for a while. I don't know when and if it's going to get into my decades rotation. Well, time will tell. So let me know in the comments below, what do you think about the start, and whether you agree that this iris is absolutely breathtaking. As in the case of my February rotation, I had it like randomly figured in my mind, but then I didn't want to repeat the same rotation from video to video, from month to month, because it's gonna be boring for both sides, for you and for me as well. That is why I just added all of my decade processes into decision wheel. I have this app on my phone, and then I just let it decide which 4 processes go in which decade. So one of the processes that the decision wheel chose this time, in the first decade of March, is going to be Santorini from Riolis. I have shown. Hold up, I'm going to make it a little closer. I mean, it's not closer, it's further. I have showed it to you last month. I hope you're still not bored with it. I'm certainly not. Last time I was working in this area because I had some empty spaces, and then I assumed that I might be moving to the left, but now I think that no, because I've been trying this approach with my previous processes and I kind of like it, so I think I'm going to work with the flow. I'm gonna go with the flow for a while now, and I'm going to go from the bottom up. Because if I move from right to left, it's gonna be interesting for as long as I work on the bottom part of the project, but it's gonna be boring, incredibly boring when I move to the sky and even to the sea. So, and if I'm going to be moving from the bottom up, it's gonna be much interesting. It's not like the design is filled with many logical pieces, so it doesn't matter at that point anyway. So I think this time I'm going to continue working on this beautiful, I don't know, plant. So yeah, I think somewhere here, I don't know, the time will tell how much speed I will have on this process, because it isn't the simplest one, because it does have patches of like solid colors that you can stitch without thinking, but most of the time it has like these little groups of stitches, and it seems like it should have been more difficult, more challenging to work on, but for some reason it isn't. I don't know, maybe just because I haven't touched this project in such a long time. That's the beauty. The starts have their own beauty, because you want to start something right here, right now, or something you've been longing for a long time. But the beauty of working with older projects is like, you know how they function, you know how they work, and it's like a different type of joy that progressing them and seeing that visible progress brings you. So yeah, Santorini from Riolis, done by 31.5%. 0.4, but let's round it up. We'll see how much progress it will get in the first decade of March. Not all of my Riolis kits were as lucky to be majorly progressed in this decade, once again because of my unplanned start, and because I have been focusing on also on my monthly project and on my yearly project, so I spent a day or two working on those two, which kind of took the room to fit in my decade processes. But anyhow, the Santorini from Riolis managed to get its almost 700 progress. I don't know if you're gonna see where I've been working. Honestly, I cannot even tell it myself, but I think I was filling in the blanks. Yeah, I was working with the leaves somewhere here, and then I was working on the background a little bit. Well, but 664.5 stitches isn't much, but it is like what, 2 more, yeah, I managed to add 2 more percent to progress this project by 2 more percent, which is not bad. It's better than nothing, right? So yeah, I'm not sure if you're gonna see anything, but trust me, it's there. I finished all the backstitch on these pots, flowers and pots. So like this part, maybe even up to here, is fully finished. And the next time I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna be moving up. Hopefully I'll manage to show you like some more obvious progress than this. What else can I say? This project is also borderline between boring and exciting, because on the one hand you have to work with these beige and white and blends of those colors, but on the other, it is interesting because I love working with blends, and I know that some people don't, absolutely don't, absolutely hate working with blends. I like it. And another advantage of working with those beige colors is when you take a strand, you can cover a significant amount of stitches. Like probably you can take one strand and add a 60, 70, maybe 100 more stitches. So that's an obvious advantage. So, well, nothing else to add. Hope you enjoyed this progress, and we're again setting this pattern aside till the next month. In my last video, I told you that I'm going to be transitioning one of my decade processes into my monthly processes, which was a floral etude from Riolis. And I told you that I'm going to substitute with another process, with another whip. And this is what I want to substitute it with. It is the King of Flowers by Luca-s. It is, I don't know, the moment I saw this pattern, I was blown away by the palette. I mean, my organizer's a little bit ragged, but you can see the scale, the range of colors. We have like 5 palettes here. And it has so many pinks and violets and purples and blues that I couldn't resist adding it to my decades. It isn't one of my oldest or one of the closest to the end whips in my collection, but when I went over this part in Riolis' kit, when I knew that I was going to add it to my monthly processes, I knew that I want to substitute it with a King of Flowers. It is a quite large pattern. I believe it has 40, yes, it has 40,000 stitches. Just stitches, no back stitch or half stitch, anything like it. I started it back in 2024, in May of 2024, and since then I haven't, no, I think that I worked on it for one more time in 2024, in September of 2024, and that's it. I progressed it to the point of 10% and I left it. Not because I don't like it, not because it is difficult, primarily because I didn't have much time and I have way too many whips to work on. Not that I'm complaining. I'm happy that I have so many whips and patterns in my collection. So, King of Flowers. This is, I think it is the half of the pattern. Let me check. Yes, this is. So it's not gonna be very large. I mean, it's gonna be a square, which is, hold up, which is 32, almost 32 by 32 centimeters. And this is 1/4 of the pattern. Since it is pre-gridded and I'm not gonna be moving to the left because all the bottom part as well as all the upper part of it is just a background, which is easy to stitch but isn't very interesting to work on, although it has like some vibrant colors in it. But I want to go to the peony. I want to work on the peony. This is my progress, which is highlighted in yellow. So I think I'm still gonna be working on the pink peony. I just thought maybe I would like to go up to the coral one, but no, I think I'm going to focus on this part and I'm going to work with some pink colors because, you know, it's spring and I want some vibrance in life. What else can I say? I mean, this is by far one of the simplest projects from Luca-s that I have worked on. It is logical. I believe that it doesn't have any blends. Or does it? No, just 66 solid colors. Once again, I don't have the original preview. I left it behind for whatever irrational reason. So yeah, King of Flowers starting off at 10%. Who knows how many more will add up during the first decade of March. The Magnificent King of Flowers by Luca-s. These lovely colorful peonies on such a, I don't know, marble style background. This is probably the project I am the proudest of in this decade. Just look at this. It was the first one that I took in this decade. I just couldn't wait to start with it. So I started it first and it received almost 2,000 stitches. I'm just like a 90 stitches short. And it is 15% done by this point. Like 10 days ago it was at the point of 10% and now it's almost 15 and it is insane. I told you that I wanted to focus on this pink peony, which I did, but I also filled in any blanks that I had, and I even moved here to the coral peony, but I didn't work much on it because I was like telling myself that it is time to set this project aside, otherwise I wouldn't have much time to dedicate to other projects at that, that's considering the fact that I haven't known about my new start at that point. I want to draw your attention to this floss. I don't know. You cannot capture it pretty much on camera. But if you, maybe you heard, maybe you already tried it yourself, but Luca-s has started producing their own floss. Because before they used to add anchor floss to their kits. And now they have special Luca-s floss, and it is absolutely best floss, that type of floss that I've tried so far. I worked with DMC, I worked with Anchor, I worked with CXC and other Chinese equivalents, but the thing with Luca-s floss, it is much softer and it has this exceptional shine to it. I don't know. When you look in person on the project, it looks like you are stitching with satin floss. So the combination of colors, the quality of the floss, and the logical pattern has done its deed. And honestly, that's another project that I just would take and work on for the next decade or a month. I mean, probably not a month, but a week, that's for sure. Because every time you finish one color, you kind of wonder which is going to be another one, because there are so many shades. I don't remember. There are 66 colors. I think there aren't any blends here, but even 66 colors is enough. That's a lot for another multicolor piece. So yeah, the King of Flower. I missed this project, and I think that, well, it has been postponed. It has been put on pause for a reason, because I liked it when I started, but you know, the fact that I usually start from the bottom right corner where nothing interesting is going on for a while might have set me off for a bit. But then when I started working with those purple and like magenta colors, I kind of liked it, but then I was a bit tired of the process of the background, so I just wanted to postpone it. And now when I took it again, and there was little of the background and much more of the flower itself, it just, I don't know, it was stitching like a song. So if you are looking for a floral piece to add to your collection or to start, and or maybe you have this kit in your collection, would surely recommend it. Also, I've been watching some videos and I've seen a lady who's like progressing her process of Dana by Busilla. I also have a replica of this pattern, and I bought it because of the similarity in color, because there are also these dark greens and kind of a bluish background. And I still think about whether or not I'm going to be stitching, because I know it is quite complicated piece, all because of the 3/4 and stuff. And something tells me that after I finish this one, I may not want to start to work on those roses of Dana. But I don't know. Maybe it's just gonna wait in my collection for a bit while, even though it was among the first one that I got, which was like maybe 5 years ago. But who knows? I don't know. It's just a stream of consciousness. When I've been stitching this project, and then when I was watching videos on Flosstube, I was thinking about it. I was comparing these two pieces. I know that they are completely uncomparable in anything except for the floral theme and probably the palette. Well, also I cannot make any major assumptions because my replica 4 roses of Dana back in Ukraine, and I don't know if they're gonna be arriving anytime soon, and I'm not gonna like ask my parents-in-law in particular to bring that pattern because I have other things in my mind which I would like to have with me at this moment, at this point in time. So yeah, King of Flower by Luca-s, almost 15% through. Sadly, have to put it aside till April, like hopefully till April, because I have this fortune wheel which decides which patterns go into my decades. So who knows if it's gonna be lucky enough to be stitched in April. Let me know what you think about this, and let me know if you would want to start it like at this point, because spring is the season when people want to work on something floral to add some more vibrance to their lives. So yeah, I think my fortune wheel has been choosing processes in this decade according to the ones I progressed the least in the last decade. That is why it gave me an opportunity to progress the Wild Jungle Paradise a little bit more. So I think I'm going I will be progressing it, and according to the plan, I'm going to be moving to the left bottom corner of the project, of the design. So I might be able to work with these flowers, but I'm not sure if I will reach the butterfly. Well, yet still. Even though I haven't had much time to progress it, in February it is 15.5% through, which is great considering that the whole design is 48,000 stitches and 15%. I mean, it's also considerable milestone in such a large project. So yeah, hopefully in 10 days I will be able to show you at least something relatively logical on this pattern, because until we reach the tiger himself, there isn't much logical objects. There aren't many logical objects to focus on except for like these butterflies, these flowers, and then the majestic animal. But yeah, as I said it before, the project is incredibly pleasant and easy to work on, to work with, because the combination of canvas and the floss that the Nova Sloboda uses, it's like a match made in heaven. So the canvas is soft-ish, just like I like it. The floss is long so that you can, that's actually a quite obvious, or maybe not obvious advantage, because the pattern has quite extensive logical coverage in single color, or like in a blend, and it would have been quite how do you say it? I wouldn't say boring, quite challenging, but that's a bit bright of a word to describe it. When you work with the floss and then you have like a huge section of stitches to cover, and then you run out of the floss, and then you have to put it into the needle once again, and instead of working on the piece you just do some organizational work. So that's great that that's great that the designer, the brand, is very thoughtful of people who's going to be stitching their designs. I mean, some you don't see that quite often. I think, yeah. So I keep forgetting the name. Wild Jungle Paradise. I don't know why I can't remember it. So 15.5% through in the beginning of March, and hopefully it will progress much better than the last time in this decade. And we'll see if my expectations come true in a few seconds. Wild Jungle Paradise is unfortunately another outsider in my decade. Yeah, I know that I made promises that I'm going to meet the second corner of the project, that I'm going to finish these flowers, and I didn't because, well, as I'm not gonna be repeating myself, but once again, I didn't have enough time to work much on this project. I was working primarily I was working on this flower, and as I was filling out its petals, I had some remaining floss, and it was spent somewhere here. It was outlining, I think it is this one, maybe even a bit of a part of this one, this flower. Oh. So yeah, progressing, I mean, adding visible progress to projects which are over 50 or almost 50k, is a quite tiresome task. But I mean, this project got only 600, a little bit over 600 stitches, and it is now 16.75% through, not even 20. I don't know why. I don't know what kind of misfortune follows this project. I like the colors, I like the floss, I like the pattern, I like the process, I like everything, but then for some reason I always progress it either the least or second to least. So that's why I'm not gonna be spending too much time on it, because there's not much to show, but still I wanted to share it with you, just for the sake of journaling, of keeping track of how this project progresses. So, well, Jungle Paradise, almost 17% through. Well, could have been better, but still not bad. Still, it's not just lying still in my whip stash. It is moving forward, and that's a plus. My next project of first decade is going to be something you have seen in my last decade. It's going to be the Legend of FREYA by Bella Filipina. A beautiful mermaid. Maybe she's even a warrior mermaid on a gorgeous seahorse. Well, there's not much to say about it, since we talked about it, in the last video. Only that I think I know where I'm going to go this time precisely. And I think that I will concentrate my efforts on the torso and the head of the mermaid. And then I'm going to be finishing up with the rest, with the tail, with the seahorse, and with the decoration. I don't know, I just want to see her face, because, you know, at the moment it's just like this beautiful mixture of stitches. It doesn't, I mean, in my mind I know what's gonna look like, but still, if you have at least one finished object on the stitch, it is on the canvas, it is a lot more pleasant to continue because you have something to work off. Besides, if I finish the mermaid, then there is no chance that I'm going to postpone it or forget about this project. Not that I do, not that it's something I do, but still. So the Legend of Freya is so far only 6% through. I don't know, maybe I'll manage to add another 3 or maybe even 4% so that it finally gets to the first, I wouldn't say major, but the first milestone of 10%. So this is how it looks like in the beginning of March, and in a few seconds you'll see how it looks by the 10th of March 2026. The first decade of March is over and I'm ready to get back to you with almost 10% progress on my lovely Legend of Freya by Bella Filipina. I must tell you straight away that I thought that this project will get less stitches than it actually got. Oh, don't get me wrong, it didn't get like 2,000 or something, which I wish I would have had enough time to give this beautiful process that amount of stitches. But unfortunately, because of my start, I didn't manage to do more than my average norm, which is how much? Yeah, a little bit over 1,000 stitches. As I promised to both to you and myself, I was going to work on the mermaid's torso, and which I did. When I moved to the top part, to the bra part or whatever it's called, I kind of had my doubts because you know, you're like just stitching with blacks and grays, and then there are just random strings of some, I don't know, mustard colors. But then comes in metallic thread, metallic floss, and the whole thing changes like instantly. I could have added a few stitches of back stitch, but I just didn't want to either leave the hanging floss unsecured, because there's the hold up, where are my scissors? In the back stitches, just a little bit outlining her side, just like, I don't know, 2 little stitches. So yeah, I focused on her torso, on her top, but since I couldn't reach there straight away, I had to move from her arm, because it was the closest to the stitches I have already made. So I was working in this area. Also, I started a little bit on her hair, but you can't actually tell that it's her hair. It's just like a lock of her hair. Yes, I am completely and utterly satisfied that I've moved to this part, because you finally see some outlines of what it's going to be, and that gives you motivation. I don't know, like for me, when I'm looking at this process, it looks like, you know, the torso, half of her bottom part is finished, and it seems like what is left, like the head and the rest of the tail. But no, it's just 10%. It just gives you, when you put it in perspective, you can imagine how large this project is. But now that I'm actually sure that it's gonna turn out the way it is supposed to, despite all of my substitutions, because as you know, I don't have the original materials for this project. I just have the pattern, and I just have random floss I had in my floss bank, and then the metallic side I chose the metallics based on what I like and what I don't like. So they may not even coincide in shade with original required chronics. Some stitches are even which are supposed to be in a single metallic floss. I do them as a blend. You can see this beautiful golden and blue. It's supposed to be a solid-ish floss, but in my case it's just a combination of two. And don't get me wrong, but I don't think that that's gonna sound like I'm showing off a bit, but I don't think that it turns out any worse than how the Bella Filipina intended this piece to turn out. I don't know. This is not the marketing trick or something. I'm not promoting. I'm just sharing my genuine thoughts, because I've been observing other stitches who have like the original canvas, the original floss, and their project turned out to be so beautiful, and I had my doubts whether it's gonna work for me or not, even though I have one Bella Filipina in my collection of finishes, which is more than satisfactory, and which hasn't been stitched in original materials. But there's always room for doubt, considering that I'm sharing it with you, and people in the viewing audience are different. Every person has their own opinions, but this is how I see it. This is how I like it, and this is how I'm sharing it with you without trying to convince to choose sides, if you get what I mean. Anyway, Bella Filipina, The Legend of Freya, almost 10% through, and I couldn't be happier with this pattern, but it's gonna be postponed till April, so we're not gonna see it anymore in March. That I can tell you for sure, because there are other projects that wait to be worked on. So yeah, I'll just bring it a tad closer so that you can see the stitches and the metallic. I don't know, I can't imagine how gorgeous it's going to look when the beading is going to be introduced. This is going to be it for me, guys. I hope you liked my first decade of spring, first decade of March. Let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comments below, especially on the new start and on my progress, which has been quite random, depending on the project I've been working on. So yeah, thank you once again for staying with me, for liking, leaving your comments, subscribing. I invite you to stay tuned. I think that March is going to bring many more interesting patterns and much more progress to share with you and for you to observe. Other than that, thank you and stay safe. Bye.